I came to see our guest coming from all the way from the States to Glasgow, so it was important for me to come to attend to here to him. Thank you very much for your contribution. I wasn't preparing myself to speak about Palestine, but I'll tell you about the current situation in Palestine with regard to the peace process and the situation in Gaza. My name is Hasan Nowarah. I'm a Palestinian origin from Ramallah City. I've been in Glasgow for the last 26 years. Finished my PhD at Glasgow University, not here actually, in Paisley, in Advanced Information System Development. But I have been involved with the Palestinian cause since I came back to this country. The current situation, as our colleagues have spoke, of the imperialism to control the Middle East, I agree with every word he said. And to make the Middle East unstabilized, they have to create an entity there to divide the whole Middle East from being stabilized because of the sake of the oil and whenever as the land can provide. So therefore they had created the state of Israel. If you go back to the history, there is no such a proof to any Jewish history has anything to link them back to the land of Palestine. If you go back to the history, 5,000 years before Jesus was born, used to be two tribes of people, Canaanic and Philistines. Some came from Yemen and some came from Crete Islands in Greece. At that period when they traveled and they met, they stabilized and they become Palestinian people as the Palestinian today. The Jewish people who lived in Palestine at that time, they were speaking the Aramaic language and the Arabs. They came from that land. They came from Egypt. At that time they ran away from the Pharaohs. They came to Palestine, but the Jewish kingdom established there. They were ruling Palestine for 73 years. After their era has finished, we have the Assyrians, we have the Babylons, we have the Persians, we have the Crusaders, we have the European came, we have the Muslims, the Arabs, and we have the Turks. The Turks has ruled Palestine for 1,500 years, whenever it was the biggest colony who ruled Palestine. Whereas the Israelis at the time of Kingdom of Israel has ruled Palestine for 73 years. So there's no link to link them after all these years to come back to gather all themselves from around the world to go back to the land of Palestine. Whereas nearly now, 11 million Palestinians, half of them in Palestine and half of them are refugees around the world. The world refugees now, half of them are Palestinian people. Back to the peace process. After the assassination of Yasser Arafat by the Israeli and some of his party groups has managed to assassinate Yasser Arafat, they have appointed Mahmoud Abbas to be the PLO president or the Palestinian Authority president. So to have his legitimacy, the American government has pressurized him to do an elections to be a fair judgment for the Palestinian people. When Hamas has joined these elections with their agenda, they have won the majority of the elections, the votes, by overwhelming majority. Hamas themselves, they did not expect to win that amount of majorities of vote to win the elections of the parliament. They were shocked. And who made them actually win the elections is the people of Mahmoud Abbas, because the current government at the time was badly corrupted. So the Palestinian people were sick of the thieves, the corrupted people, the collaborating with the Israeli. Is basically the Palestinian Authority is become as an agent for the Israeli government, by which they call collaborations between both security systems to prevent any activities or any terrorism or any things to undermine or jeopardize the things they called peace process. So Hamas was in power. The minute they won the elections, America didn't like the outcome of the Palestinians' votes, neither the Israelis, and was the humiliation defeat for Abbas and Fatah group. Immediately they declared war against the elected Palestinian government. And what we can see, everybody knows what's the result of that situation. Back to myself as a Palestinian in Glasgow, we have Justice for Palestine Center. I was really given up in any politicians. I couldn't believe what's been going on in Palestine. It's all basically, it is a load of nuances to me, let's put it that way. If really wanted peace, the Palestinian Authority should not negotiate or even link in a direct negotiation with the Israeli occupation. They should go to United Nations resolution. America has launched the war against Iraq under such called United Nations resolution. Where's the sanctions against Israel? Nobody has imposed it. Why should the Palestinian Authority go negotiate, or the PLO negotiate with the Israeli? We should go to United Nations, link with them, and they should deal with the Israeli indirectly and have peace process. Fair enough, the United Nations resolution sanctions, the Israeli must withdraw from 1967 land. Why should we negotiate with them over the land? Withdraw first of all, and then we negotiate over the security measurements. How do I negotiate with you as an Israeli, as my enemy, over my land, whereas the whole nation of the world has decided for you to withdraw? You have colonized or occupied Palestine 1967, Jerusalem, and all the West Bank and Gaza Strip within 6 days. You have to withdraw. That is, the United Nations resolutions has implied that in years, so you have to obey it. Why they are refusing? Because the Israeli doesn't want really peace. The Israeli aim is to transfer all the Palestinians out of the land of Palestine totally to the Arab neighboring countries, and to make that a secular Jewish state for the Jewish people or the Israeli people in the land of Palestine. Justice for Palestinians. After the war in Gaza, we had a good committee groups people. We couldn't be patient. We couldn't do nothing in a political level. We need to do something actually to help the Palestinian people in Gaza. We have took our first convoy. We have managed to communicate with all the mosques and all the churches within Scotland, and we managed to take 35 tons of medicine. We have took 10 7.5 tonner trucks. We drove all the way from Glasgow to Gaza, all through Europe, Eastern Europe. We went to Hungary, to Romania, to Bulgaria, then we entered to Turkey. From Turkey we went to Syria, to Jordan, then we entered Egypt. We were the very first convoy from the European communities to enter Gaza after the war. And believe me, ladies and gentlemen, the things I have seen on Gaza is, believe me, unbearable, unbelievable. A stretch of land, nearly 3 kilometers, was totally flattened. That area, it was totally filled with factories and high-class rich people houses at their borders, which is they call the Green Line, between Palestine 1948 and Palestine 1967, or what they call Israel and Gaza Strip. And that land was totally flattened. By my own eyes, I have seen an animal farm, over 1,000 head of cattle, cows, goats, chickens. They were all badly flattened. Tanks, after they killed all these animals, the machine tanks has been going over the animals to flatten them. Similar way they did to Rachel Corrie, that bulldozer, they did to these animals totally. For every house they have destroyed at these borders, tanks was going to it. I have went to houses within that areas. The reason is most of these people who lives in Gaza, they are actually refugees. They came from 1948 Palestine, which they call now Israel. That's why these people, they wanted to go back, and they keep fighting the Israeli to go back to their homelands. And this is part of United Nations resolutions. The Palestinian refugees have the right to go back to their homelands according to 194 United Nations resolution. So these people, they become twice refugees in their homeland, and despite they are living in a camps, most of these camps has been destroyed. We want to sell these houses inside, and believe me, they have no seats to sit down on. They don't have cups to provide us with tea or anything. When we went inside, they have bamboo carpets to live on. When I went in, the condition of the house, I cannot describe it, ladies and gentlemen, but believe me, us here, if we have a pet or a dog, you will never allow your animal to live at that state. You will never accept it. These people, I have seen people, they diluted their milk for their kids from the sewage water. From the waters running in the alley between the camps, they have to use these dirty waters to dilute the milk for their kids because they don't have sweet water in Gaza. It was so much devastated. I have never ever dreamt of seeing my own people living to that standard because of the sanction on Gaza. The minute Hamas took in power, the aim to fail it is to provide the sanctions. And unfortunately, Palestinian Authority has a lot to answer because they have knew, and they actually asked the Americans and the Israeli to put sanctions, and they were aware of the war. As Al Jazeera Transparency has provided all the documentations, has exposed lots of information we were secrets for us to know about. Then, after we came back to Glasgow, we came across 2, 3, 4 hospitals. They were destroyed by the F-16. They have rebuilt the hospitals. The ask us if we can help them with medical equipment. We came back to Glasgow, we managed to get £1 million worth of medical equipment we gathered from all United Kingdom, from hospitals, private hospitals, all medical equipment, the latest tech, and we took it. We had permission from the Egyptian authority to enter, but Free Gaza movement contacted us, said, we have got 9 ships going to Gaza, why don't you provide your 54 ton of medical equipment along Rachel Corrie, and we joined the flotilla fleet. They persuaded us, so we accepted. And everybody knows what happened to the flotilla. 9 of my colleagues has been shot. Myself, I had 5 broken bones in my foot and my leg, and I just recovered recently out of it. As we were taking, everybody knows what happened in the flotilla, but most of our medical equipment we tried to take to Gaza, some of it has been reached, and the majority has been destroyed in Ashdod by the Israeli government. When they took all the contents of Rachel Corrie and other boats, they have been dumped at the beaches, at the ports, has been under the sun for a long time. They have been dealing with the medical equipment with roughness. All the cabling and the wiring and the networking within the device itself has been pulled out, destroyed, to make it difficult or impossible to relink and to be reused by the Palestinians. Other medicals like bandages and wound dressings, all that stuff, antibiotics, whatever, has been given. But because it has been under the sun, most of it has been destroyed. Because of our failure to reach this medicine, because of the result of the Israeli attack, Justice for Palestine is taking another convoy to leave to Gaza. Thank God, so far we have managed to have nearly 35 tons of medical equipment, and we are due to leave to Gaza on the 19th of February, nearly 2 weeks from now. But because of the uprising in Egypt, we have to delay to see the results. Are we going to allow to enter or not? But we spoke to the Egyptian authority, and they have sent us such a difficulty, such conditions and restrictions, how to deal with our convoy to enter to Gaza, to make it the mission really impossible for us to take our medical aid to Gaza. They're sending us, you're not allowed to take any vehicles inside, all your medical equipment must be in a ballot position, to be wrapped in certain ways, the weight, it has to be certain measurements, and you're not allowed to enter the Egyptian land, you're not allowed to enter the convoy by land, you must enter by the sea. So you have to go all the way from here to reach to any port to the neighboring countries, take another ship and enter to Al Arish. And Al Arish port is so tiny, you need to take small zodiacs, or you can't take any cargo ships inside there. So therefore they're making such a complication and difficulty for us. We are in negotiation with them, but they requested from us to hold back till they see the situations, what's been happening, because the borders between Rafah Egyptian and Rafah Palestine has been closed till they find out what's the situation. So therefore that's our situation, therefore, and thank you very much for your times to listen to me. If you need any questions or any information, me and our guest here are more than happy to answer you back. Thank you very much.